Okay, this is a video response to Dragon Ball and his Linux Criticisms 3. I think I've said this before a couple times, but I really think all this OS partisanship's kind of stupid. Well, I mean, people, I guess people get on YouTube and they like to argue about this stuff, and I don't really understand somebody getting their feelings hurt because someone makes a technical argument against whatever computer operating system they happen to use. I think maybe it comes from, maybe it's because people get in these debates, maybe they come from separate tribes, for lack of a better term. You got your hardware enthusiasts, people who want to get the maximum performance out of a given machine, and they'll do things. They'll overclock. They'll go out. They'll get the latest video card. Use things like water cooling, whatever. A lot of times those folks are gamers, and those people tend to be in the Windows camp because I really can't think of any hardware out there that doesn't have a Windows XP driver, and almost anything you buy nowadays is going to be will really work with Windows Vista or Windows 7. So they tend to be Windows enthusiasts. Then you've got people who enjoy the software side of things, and they really like tweaking the way they use the operating system, the way they use their computer to their likings. And those folks tend to be Linux, in the Linux camp, because Linux gives you that freedom, and they don't mind. They have the skills to get in the terminal and do the tweaks that they need to do. People in the OS X camp, from what I have seen, and this is just personal opinion, they want things to just work. They are happy with getting an integrated computer system, and this is really the strength of the Apple platform, because Apple controls the OS, because they control the hardware that goes into the OS, that they can make this integrated whole where the hardware and software just work together without putting the burden on the user to configure things to an extent. In which model is better? Well, it really comes down to who you are and what your personality is. Now, Dragon Ball's arguments, and I said this before in my last response video to him, his criticisms of Linux are valid. And I am saying this as a Linux user. I'm recording this video right now using Ubuntu 9.04 and using Cheese, the video capture program from that's open source that you can get on Linux. And honestly, I realize the quality shows. I mean, this is not as polished as if I had done this on a Mac, or even if I were using Windows Movie Maker and Windows XP. I realize that. But it's a choice that I've made. It's good enough for me. Now, I'll also say that when I built this computer, I wasn't worried so much. I built it from the ground up, knowing that I was going to dual boot Windows XP and a version of Linux on here. And I wasn't worried about the hardware on the Windows side because I knew about anything I got would work. On the Linux side, I really had to do my homework. because I wanted a wireless video card in here at the time I built it. Most distros had issues with a lot of the wireless chipsets that are out there. Had to look at real close at what type of video chipset it had to make sure I wouldn't have issues there. And you're still not going to use the latest and greatest NVIDIA or ATI card in a Linux box. You're going to have issues with it. You're going to have to use something that's 6 months or a year old, because that's how long it takes open source guys to wicker around drivers for them, usually. So what I'm saying is that those criticisms are valid, and you know, you really got to grow a thick skin if you're going to get offended over that. There's no such thing as a perfect operating system. There's no such thing as a perfect computer. It just doesn't exist. And I think every environment has criticisms, has valid criticisms. I mean, Microsoft and Windows, woo, especially with Vista. You know, I've only got 10 minutes in a video here, and 10 hours isn't long enough to list all the criticisms with Microsoft. Linux, again, I'm not going to go back over it, but I mean, there are valid criticisms of Linux. OS 10, not going to go there. I haven't played enough with it to really to know what the warts are there. I suspect there probably are there, but don't know. Got plenty of criticisms of Apple as a corporation, but I'm not going to rant on them right now. But anyway, everybody sit down, have a drink of your favorite beverage, and chill out. It's no use losing sleep over. Thanks for watching.